What is going on? Yo, what is up? Hala Madrid. Hala Madrid. This this is the start of we listen. I'm so happy about this win, man. I don't know about you guys, but I am so happy about this win. Let's go, baby. Before this game, Atalanta they only conceded one goal in the Champions League. Today we gave them 3. As we say in Arabic, thalatha. We gave them 3. Yo, I am hyped about this. You know, when it comes to Real Madrid in the Champions League, we are ruthless. We are a ruthless side. You make a mistake, you have to pay. You make a mistake, you have to pay. You give Vinny that chance. What do you think he's going to do with it? Huh? What do you think Vinny's going to do? The man's got ice in his veins. Rodri's father. You'll never understand this shit, Barcelona fans. You'll never understand this shit. You know what I'm saying? Carlo Ancelotti said Real Madrid will be in Munich in the final. Mark your calendars. How many of you guys are actually booking your flights? Yo, I'll see you guys in Munich, man. Listen, this is one of the hardest sides in Europe. All right? The haters can say whatever they want. When it comes to the Champions League, when that music, the Champions League anthem comes on, if you don't take your chances, Real Madrid is going to take their chances. All it takes is a little moment. We don't need a 50% chance probability to win. We need just 1% chance. Man, today, Atalanta, we saw that Gasperini is one of the top. He's one of the best coaches in the world. Gasperini, this guy, he's going to coach an elite side in Europe. Not to say Atalanta is not elite, because clearly they are. But let me just say, man, today, Kylian Mbappe, before he came off injured, I really liked what I saw from him. Ruthless finish. The guy, he was playing with so much enthusiasm, and he was demanding the ball. The body language from Mbappe was so positive. I'm just really disheartened and sad that Mbappe came off injured, because the guy was cooking. The guy was cooking, man. He scored that goal, put it right in the corner. Man, all I have to say is this is the beginning of our season turning around, because a high-pressing team like that, to be able to go into their own ground and get a result against them, that's positive. And let's not get this, let's not sit here and act like we dominated the game and we are the better side. But that's not the point. The point is, it doesn't matter if you're the better side. You get the results. You have to be ruthless in the Champions League. When you get your opportunities, you need to kill them. And that's what we did. We killed them. Before the game, do any of you guys remember what my prediction was before the game? What did I say the score was going to be? Anybody remember what I said? I said the game was going to be 3-2 to Real Madrid. I said that shit. Check it. Check the preview. I said it was going to be Real Madrid to win 3-2. That was my prediction. Because I know this team. I know we were going to concede a goal. And I didn't think we were going to be so solid defensively that we only concede 1. I just believed in our attackers. And I know how good these players are. Today, Vinicius was rushed back to play, obviously, because he's the best player in the world. You got to get that guy back. But he didn't look like he had that sharpness. But you don't need a guy like Vinny. All he needs is 1 chance. You can't give Vinny more than 1 chance, because he'll kill you. But a little bit on the lineup. Carlo Ancelotti decided to go with Denis Ceballos, and today we understood why. Before, a lot of people were saying Luka Modric should be starting ahead of Ceballos, but you saw the reason why is because he had him play in that right hand of the pivot, and he was helping Lucas Vazquez out defensively a lot. Denis Ceballos, the amount of work he did defensively today, his performance, I was so impressed by how well Denis Ceballos played today. um, because he put so much work defensively. He put in a shift. Let me quickly look at some of my notes here. The man-to-man pressing from Real Madrid, the man-to-man pressing, it worked. You saw when Real Madrid adjusted their pressing pattern and they tried to press Atalanta, we started getting the ball back. Carlo Ancelotti's tweaks at halftime worked. You saw in the first half, first of all, the balls out of the back by Courtois were not the best in the first half. In the second half, Courtois was hitting them straight to a Real Madrid player. But Courtois, he kept on feeding the ball to Brahim Diaz. And Brahim kept on turning. He was so important in that match. But in the second half, you saw Carlo Ancelotti said, yo, feed those balls to Vinicius. And Vini, when you're feeding him the ball and he has to come so deep because of how much Atalanta was pressing, what that does is it drags the defender with Vini and opens up spaces behind him. The only thing I kept on thinking is, man, if we had somebody else who's picking up that ball in that position and feeding it to a guy like Vini, then you're good to go. I do think the team really lost a little bit of spark when Mbappe came off. I hope his injury is not serious. And it just concerns me because the last time Mbappe started to play well, he started to score, he had that knee injury. And now Mbappe obviously is out with an injury. But man, this right here, Barcelona wouldn't have won this game today. They would have got penetrated. That's what would have happened to Barcelona. They would have got a touch like an iPad. But we're Real Madrid. We don't bitch out like Barcelona. You know what I'm saying? We go to people's grounds and we take their shit. Lookman, we took your shit tonight. Pause. No Diddy. What the hell happened to Lookman today, man? What the fuck is that shit? Who the fuck is this man? This guy out here playing like he's a prime Vinicius Jr. or some shit, bro. The fuck? But one thing we did learn from this game is that Lucas Vazquez, long term this season, going up against elite left wingers, no, bro. That shit cannot fly. You need to recruit in the winter, bring somebody who's solid defensively. Carlo Ancelotti brought Raul Asensio in towards the end of the game. Raul Asensio, I'm interested to see what he would look like at right back. Lucas Vazquez on the ball, you can't question the guy. But against Lookman, yo, we're so lucky to not concede in the end there. So lucky. That guy Lookman, what the fuck is that, bro? Who's this guy? You need, like, this guy. There's no way he's playing for Atalanta next season. He's probably going to go to Chelsea, sign a 20-year contract, and they're going to put him on 300 bags a week. But man, let me just quickly talk about those long balls because Thibaut Courtois kept on playing those long balls from the back. And we weren't necessarily the best with the second balls. That's where you need to win those second balls when a guy goes long like that. So it's just something to work on. Why was our press actually effective tonight versus the rest of the season? Why was our press so much better tonight than most nights when I watch Real Madrid play? And yes, substitutions in the 84th minute. Yo, my guy Carlo, what the fuck is going on with that shit, bro? Why do you wait to the end of the game to make substitutions? Man, I saw Arda Güler come in a few times. Yeah, he had a few touches on the ball. If you gave the guy a little bit more time and Vinny was on the end of those passes, we could have cooked them a little bit more. But again, this is something Carlo Ancelotti does. When his team is up, he tries not to take too many risks. But I said before the game, Real Madrid could feasibly finish in the top 8. And now we have 2 games, right? We have Salzburg at the Bernabeu. Again, you can never sleep on these German teams. And then we have Titties away. Brest. We have Brest away from home. Bro, if we win those 2 games, the teams in the top 8 are going to drop points. And we can feasibly make our way into the top 8, and we don't have to deal with this playoff nonsense. So it's so funny how quickly things can turn. This new format of the Champions League, you see that you can still lose You could still lose so many games and still finish in the top 8. And you know Titties is going to get it. And Salzburg, you're coming to the Bernabeu. I'm sorry. Like, you're not going to come to the Bernabeu and win. It's just, that shit is not going to happen. Can we talk about how masterful Jude Bellingham played today? Huh? Can we talk about Pedri and Gavi's father? Yo, Pedri, your father today balled out, bro. I don't know if he's doing those one-on-one lessons with Gavi and Pedri, but he should, bro, because they could benefit from having a real baller like that help them out. My guy Jude Bellingham is an animal, bro. Look at what he does. The work defensively, the guy scoring goals, assisting. You can feed him between the lines. He's good aerially. What can this man not do? What can Jude Bellingham not do? If only, like, man, the way this guy Jude Bellingham is playing right now, if he continues like this and he stays healthy, my boy is getting the Ballon d'Or. Because there's nobody in Europe better than Jude Bellingham right now. There's just not. If you disagree with me, you're an idiot. You're a straight up idiot moron. You don't know shit about football. And most people don't know shit about football. But Jude Bellingham is straight up balling out. He's the best player in Europe right now. I knew as soon as he had that guy and the guy was square against Jude Bellingham, I was like, yo, you're cooked. He put that shot low into the corner. You're never going to stop that shit. But yo, Gasperini, I have to give this man his respect because the way he has this Atalanta team playing, he knows what he's doing. But top 8 is still feasible. Like I said, Atalanta only conceded 1 goal in the Champions League, their campaign so far. And today, Real Madrid traveled to Italy and scored 3 because that's what Real Madrid does. Like I said, ruthless. If you give Real Madrid a sniff, we don't need to play well. We don't need to create a lot of chances. We just need those split opportunities. I will say, though, you could tell that Vinny was rushed to play. He did not look healthy to me. Like, Vinny did look like he was lacking a little bit of sharpness. A few of those passes he tried to play, you could tell Vinny is not 100% healthy. But Rodrigo as well. Both guys, you could tell that they tried to make sure that they played this game. Rodrigo and Vinny, for me, they didn't look that sharp. But Fran Garcia, so far this season, you have to say he's solidified his place as the starting left back at Real Madrid. Ferland Mendy has to fight his way back into the starting lineup because Fran Garcia today this guy was impeccable. I was so impressed with Fran Garcia. The guy did his thing. Vinny, Rodrigo, Bellingham were tired. That's the thing. You could tell that these players were tired. And that's why it's like, if you made some of these substitutions earlier, you would have seen Real Madrid would have capitalized. Tchouaméni with that penalty. Talk about that real quick. That was very soft contact. That could have happened to anybody. I don't know that I necessarily blame Tchouaméni for that, but it's like the dying seconds of the first half. You're like, his positioning was not necessarily the best, but I agree that was not a pen. The contact was so minimal. When I saw it, I was like, VAR, you're not even going to review that shit? Who the fuck is in that VAR room? Like, that was such a soft pen. I've seen those pens given before, but what's up with that? You guys are not even going to review it? You're not even going to make sure that that was a legitimate pen? What is that about? Who's in that room? I'm just interested to know who's the person in the VAR room. But Tchouaméni had a lot of really important defensive interventions today. Starting him over Raul Asensio was a gamble. And if you ask me, if you look at it from a totality perspective, Tchouaméni actually looks really good at center back. You might have to convert this guy full-time to center back, man, because he just looks like he's a lot more comfortable. From corner kicks, from set pieces, he was solid. Overall, I was really happy with today's performance. Brahim Diaz, this guy is one of the most underrated players in Europe. Brahim Diaz is the truth. But again, if Real Madrid plays like this more consistently, where would Real Madrid be? first of all, we'd be top of the table. We wouldn't be in 20. Well, we're not in 24th anymore. But I'm calling it from now. Real Madrid is going to make it to the top 8. Real Madrid is going to make it to the top 8. None of this playoff bullshit that these other gumps do, because we don't do that. Let me quickly look at the chat, make sure that best players, Brahim Diaz. Yeah, to me, Brahim Diaz today, Jude Bellingham today, both guys were phenomenal. Lucas Vazquez did his best. Lucas Vazquez against Lookman, mismatch. In the winter transfer, you have to get somebody to cover that, a solid right back for those really tough games in Europe. When Real Madrid is going to make it to the knockout stages, we're going to go deep into the competition. Having Lucas Vazquez against an elite left winger, that shit, like, sorry, no. You have to get somebody in the transfer market. Yeah, and I agree that Ceballos has become super underrated. Ceballos today, all his work defensively, he didn't give up the ball, very press resistant. He did his thing. He's earned more minutes. Thoughts on Rodrigo and Ceballos? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I felt like, yeah, let me just quickly talk. Lookman would cook the living shit out of Koundé. What the fuck is wrong with this guy, Koundé? Hey, listen, I'm not going to judge, but no, you're not going to tell me Koundé is straight. That guy is not straight, bro. Like, I don't care what anybody says. That guy, Koundé, like, if I'm keeping it like 100, if that was my son, I would beat the living shit out of him. I swear, if my son dressed like Koundé, I would beat the living shit out of him. The guy's a disgrace, bro. What is this man doing? Please, Real Madrid, never sign a fruity guy like that. Please. For the love of God, don't sign anybody that fruity. But Courtois, as usual, world-class performance by Thibaut Courtois. I'll just say that Koundé would get cooked by Lookman. This guy today, he proved that he's one of the best in his position in the world. There's no doubt about that. Vinicius today playing so... We played with two up front, a 4-4-2. Vinny and Rodrigo weren't in positions where they're like, you could tell typically what Carlo likes to do is he likes Vinny to be touching the touchline and to take on the right wingers because he's devastating in that position. But the whole objective is to have Vinny be in spots where he can affect the game. Which clearly today, overall, the touches, I think if you looked at the heat map for Vinny, you'll see that he was touching the ball in places where it's like very central and deeper than what we're used to. So interesting tactical adjustment by Carlo Ancelotti. But all of the things that he tweaked in halftime, they worked. You have to say that it worked. But because he knew that if Real Madrid mirrored the formation that Atalanta was playing with, and even in the pressing pattern, you could tell that we tried to mirror their press and we tried to push very high up the pitch, man-for-man press. Man for man, Real Madrid is the better team. So it's just a matter of making sure you don't have numerical disadvantages. So masterclass by Carlo Ancelotti today, we have to say, like, let's give the guy his props. He's done some shit wrong, but today he got it right. The only thing I would have tweaked is maybe those substitutions needed to come earlier. When I saw Dani Ceballos on the team sheet, I'm not going to lie. I was like, yo, Dani Ceballos starting, I'm worried. But then when I saw that Dani Ceballos was like his role in the build-up phase, because they knew Atalanta, what they like to do is they try to make sure that your center backs and the goalkeeper are the ones with the ball. When Real Madrid did their homework, because they understood that when the ball goes into the midfield, that's where Atalanta's press initiates. So they were like, well, we don't really need Ceballos, his capabilities on the ball in the midfield, because that's not even when they initiate their press. They initiate their press. We'll bypass that press by going long and being more vertical. And that's where Real Madrid clearly did their homework and they prepared for this match. I'm really interested to hear from Davide Ancelotti. You know, Davide Ancelotti is Carlo Ancelotti's assistant manager, and he's the one who actually puts a lot of the game plans together for the Real Madrid games. He's the actual guy who's the architect behind the scenes for Real Madrid, Davide. So I'd be interested to hear from this guy to learn more about what the thinking was, because clearly the strategy worked. But I knew, like, in the big games in the Champions League, Real Madrid has the capabilities of defeating any team. Look, we can win the Champions League this year. Like, the team Liverpool is in first place. I swear to God, we can clap their cheeks. Liverpool's not all that. Like, I watch these guys play. There are some jammy cunts. Like, I'm not saying they're a bad side, but Real Madrid can win the Champions League this year. If Real Madrid just stays healthy, we can win the Champions League. That's the whole thing. Now we're in a position where the top 24 is pretty much guaranteed at this point. All we need to do, we win the game against Salzburg at home in the Bernabeu. Then we've got titties away. Top 8. Please, Carlo Ancelotti, more rotation. And the board needs to back. They need to back Carlo and give him what he needs in the winter transfer market. January 2nd. January 2nd is when the winter transfer window opens. For the love of God, please, Real Madrid, back your manager, okay? Give him what he needs to be successful. Jude Bellingham, Fede Valverde, these guys rotate more, please. We can do the double, the treble. It's all within our grasp. But if we make it to every single game, every single final, 72 matches this season. 72 matches, and if you're not rotating, you're not going to make it to shit. We could have easily dropped points. Don't forget, the last few seconds in that game, Lookman puts that ball in. We could have easily considered this could have been a different situation. So it's all about staying healthy. I haven't seen any updates on Mbappe, but it looked like it didn't look serious, but you never know. I'm hoping Mbappe is only out for like 1 week or something like that. But it's so disappointing to see Mbappe come off, because the guy was playing with so much conviction and belief in himself. And the last time he started to play well, he got an injury, and then he seemed to have lost his confidence. So let's just hope he can keep this sort of belief going. We need better final third passing. I do agree with that. I think part of what causes really bad passing in the final third is when your players are exhausted. But that's all I got for this one, guys. Huge win against a really tough side. From a statistical point of view, Atalanta is leading the charts, both from a defensive and offensive point of view. This is a side that's creating a lot of chances, and they're leading the charts across all segments. From a statistical point of view, Real Madrid winning this game is a big deal. And if we can stay healthy, we're only going to get better. So, huge win, Hala Madrid. That's all I got to say. You can doubt Real Madrid all you want. All of the people out there, the haters, you hate Real Madrid, keep hating more. Keep praying for our downfall. As long as that Champions League music comes on, the owners of the Champions League, you're going to need a lot more to beat us, okay? So good luck. Good luck to all of you. You know what you guys should do is form a committee. Talk amongst yourselves. How do we beat Real Madrid? So far, it's not working. I know, like, we had a few losses, but Real Madrid, you can never count them out. I'm calling it. Real Madrid can win the Champions League this year again. Mbappe, beautiful finish. Let's make sure these guys are healthy and they come back strong. Yeah, that's all I got for this one. Thank you, guys. Love all of you. Hala Madrid.